Everyone thinks they know how this story ends. A lion explodes out of the grass, a wildebeest stumbles, and the slow-motion takedown feels inevitable. But out on the Serengeti plains, the truth is very different. Most of those chases don't end with a kill. They end with a cloud of dust, a frustrated lion, and a wildebeest disappearing back into a wall of horns and hooves. Behind every dramatic victory, there are dozens of close calls where the prey gets away. And that's where this matchup really gets interesting. On paper, lions should dominate wildebeest. The herds are huge, noisy, and predictable. More than 1 million of them surge across the Serengeti Mara ecosystem each year, following the rain and the fresh grass in a giant clockwise loop. They pour over open plains, squeeze through narrow valleys, and risk everything at deadly river crossings. To a hungry lion, that's not just a buffet. That's a moving food factory that shows up in almost the same places, year after year. In fact, in parts of the Serengeti, wildebeest, zebras, and their close companions supply the majority of a pride's meals. Wildebeest are also almost perfectly sized for a lion. They're big enough to feed the whole family, but not so huge that they're impossible to bring down. A fully grown lion can gorge on tens of kilos of wildebeest meat in a single sitting, then sleep off the feast in the shade. From a lion's point of view, a wildebeest is the right mix of risk and reward. Not as dangerous as a buffalo, not as skinny as a gazelle. They're the default setting for a hungry pride. So how do lions turn this living conveyor belt of prey into dinner? They plan a lot. A pride doesn't just charge randomly into a herd and hope for the best. Lionesses, the main hunters, spread out low in the grass. Some take the long way around to cut off escape routes. Others crawl forward, almost invisible, closing that critical distance before any wildebeest notices. The pride uses cover, termite mounds, bushes, shallow gullies, and often prefers the cool edges of the day or dark, moonless nights when their eyes have the advantage. When the moment finally comes, one lion makes the first move. She erupts from the grass, forcing the herd to bolt. Another lion is already waiting off to the side, ready to intercept anything that panics in her direction. If they can isolate one animal, an injured adult, a calf, or just an unlucky wildebeest that trips, the odds swing hard in the lion's favor. The strategy is simple. Break the wall of bodies into scattered pieces, then crush the slowest fragment. But this is where the wildebeest reveal their own strategy. At first glance, they look chaotic, all snorts and dust and flailing tails. In reality, they're part of a living, self-organized swarm. Thousands of eyes and ears constantly scan the horizon. When one animal senses trouble and flinches, its neighbors copy the movement almost instantly. That twitch becomes a wave. The wave becomes a stampede. And in that stampede, a single lion is suddenly just a blur in a storm of moving targets. Safety in numbers is one of the wildebeest's greatest weapons. Deep inside the herd, an individual wildebeest is actually quite safe. Lions know this, which is why they work so hard to peel one animal away from the group. When a lion rushes the flank, the wildebeest closest to the danger often do something surprisingly disciplined. They don't all bolt in random directions. Many surge forward together, keeping the front of the herd dense and forcing the lion to dodge a wall of bodies just to get through. The unlucky ones are usually those caught on the edge, or calves that drift too far from their mothers. Staying near the center is its own form of armor. Of course, there are moments when the herd splits and one wildebeest ends up on its own, pounding across the plain with a lion right behind it. This is the showdown everyone imagines, a straight sprint, predator versus prey. And here's the surprising part. On a good day, the wildebeest can match the lion. Both can hit around 50 miles per hour, but neither can keep that top speed for long. The winner isn't just the fastest, it's the one that chooses the smarter line. Wildebeest don't just run in a straight line and hope. They jink. They cut sideways, then slam back the other way. They use uneven ground, bushes, and termite mounds like obstacles in a slalom course. A well-timed zigzag can send a lion lunging at empty air. A sharp turn that aims back toward the herd can bring that lone animal under the cover of hundreds of hooves again. Many antelope species rely on unpredictable running to throw off big cats, and wildebeest are no exception. Unpredictability is their best friend when the gap starts closing. Sometimes when running isn't enough, a wildebeest does something even more dramatic. It jumps. There are real cases of wildebeest launching themselves clean over low-pouncing lions, clearing the danger in a single wild bound, and landing still upright and sprinting. In other rare moments, a cornered adult will wheel around and charge. Those horns aren't just decoration. A committed counterattack can stun or injure a lion badly enough to break the hunt. Most of the time, the wildebeest still tries to rejoin the herd as fast as possible. Fight is a last resort, but when it works, it's unforgettable. The most chaotic and famous clashes happen during the river crossings. Picture thousands of wildebeest jammed against a steep bank, the water below churning with crocodiles. Lions lurk on the far side, waiting for anything that climbs out exhausted and alone. From a distance, it looks like mayhem, but there is a kind of rough strategy at work. The herds hesitate for hours, bunching and drifting, testing the water with a few brave individuals. They sometimes abandon one crossing point and move upriver in search of a safer angle or shallower slope. They're not only fleeing predators, they're choosing where the odds feel less terrible. When they finally go, it's all at once. In that frenzy, crocodiles and lions absolutely do take their share, but sheer numbers become a shield. A predator can only grab so many animals at a time. The bulk of the herd, pushed forward by the pressure from behind, crashes through the danger zone and is gone. The scene is brutal and messy, but from the wildebeest's perspective, mass movement is a survival tactic. By swamping their enemies, they make sure most of the herd lives to see the next patch of grass. If you zoom out from any single chase, the bigger pattern is even more surprising. Lions are powerful, but they're not efficient. Across many studies, lion hunts only succeed around a quarter to a third of the time at best. That means most attempts end with the prey escaping. Every failed stalk, every wasted sprint, is the wildebeest quietly winning. The pressure is still there, though. Lions shape wildebeest behavior in ways that are harder to spot. Take waterholes. These are classic ambush spots. Research shows that large herbivores, including wildebeest, change how they use them when lions are around. They form larger groups. They spend less time standing in the open. Some herds shift their visits to times of day when lions are less active. The cost is constant stress, but the payoff is fewer successful attacks. Even when no lion is visible, the risk is quietly steering where wildebeest walk, when they drink, and how long they stay. And this duel isn't frozen in time. The battlefield itself is changing. Climate change is scrambling rainfall patterns across East Africa, nudging the timing and routes of the Great Migration. In some years, the herds spend less time in traditional dry season refuges and linger in new areas where water and grass last longer or disappear faster. At the same time, roads, fences, and growing human settlements are slicing up old pathways, creating new bottlenecks and forcing wildebeest through narrow corridors where lions and other predators can concentrate. Tourism adds another twist. Vehicles crowding a riverbank can push predators off their preferred ambush spots or scatter the herds in strange directions. Some guides worry that too many trucks clustered around a crossing change how both lions and wildebeest behave, turning a natural showdown into something that's part spectacle, part stress test. In other places, careful guiding and strict rules try to keep that pressure low, but the line is thin. So when you picture lions versus wildebeest, it's tempting to imagine a simple slaughter, powerful hunters against doomed prey. The reality is more like a long, tense negotiation that never ends. Lions refine their ambushes. Wildebeest refine their escape tactics. Herds grow, shrink, and reroute. Predators change where they wait. Even the climate and the roads and the people watching from safari vehicles join the contest, nudging the odds one way and then the other. The reason this rivalry has lasted for thousands of years is that neither side truly wins. If lions were perfect hunters, the herds would vanish. If wildebeest escaped every time, the lions would starve. Instead, the savanna runs on a fragile balance. Just enough kills for the predators to survive, just enough escapes for the herds to thunder north again next year. So the next time you see a lion slam into a wildebeest in slow motion, remember the scenes you don't see. The countless chases where the dust settles and the lion is left standing alone, watching a dark shape disappear into a sea of moving bodies. In this battle, survival isn't about one dramatic moment. It's about all the quiet, successful escapes that keep the migration and the whole ecosystem alive. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos about wildlife behavior and conservation, be sure to subscribe.